All right, Dave, Nolly and Toto, you must be so happy with that. That third quarter, 15-9, your girls were clinical through that and that really strong comeback.
Thank you for saying those words, clinical, because that's something that we looked at each other actually on the side. That's something that we really want to work on, and it's good that people have seen that. And I thought once again, when we kept ball in hand, it meant that we were able to push ourselves forward. So I'm really pleased with that, and definitely I think once again that grind that happened out on court, absorbing the pressure, because there was moments where it could have gone touch and go as well, so really pleased.
And what was your thoughts on the sideline in the first half, because through court looked really tough for them?
Yeah, not disrespecting Australia at all. I just sort of feel that we were a bit standoffish. Probably wasn't in tune to the degree that we should have, and probably was waiting, I think. So once we got in our mindset, especially coming out of halftime, to really be able to put our presence and take it on, I felt then we started to chip ahead, and hence the final score.
Obviously no Peter going to Australia. How does that make you feel? Obviously she and Grace have such a great connection.
Yeah, totally. They do have a brilliant connection, and obviously those feeds and Gracie's availability is awesome. We're really excited to have Maddie come in, and also Kimiota. Once again, those opportunities that are going to present, and they both can feed too, so it will change it up. I also feel going over there, it's sort of like not necessarily half time, but I think an exuberance of energy will also help us and kick it through.
And just your final thoughts on Peter. I'd say she's probably put her hand up fair and square.
Yeah, she did an awesome job, I think. Also, her to play 2 games back to back, coming out of nowhere, and there she does put 4 quarters out there. It's a credit to her, the work that she's done behind the scenes, her brilliant connection with Gracie, but also her workload and her training ethic. So big raps to her.
Grace, I said to Liz Watson before, the intensity, like there was bodies all over the floor. It just looked hectic, and you at times had like 2 or even 3 people hanging off you. So how did you find it?
Yeah, we definitely knew that the second game would be a lot more physical. They were going to go back and do their homework and come back with something new. And so the physicality was real strong out there, but it was good to be able to play through that and really find our feet.
Cool. Just sticking with the Toyota questions, how do you feel when you're on court with her? How do you describe sort of the chemistry and relationship that you have on court?
Yeah, I think it doesn't change too much in having any other wah out in front. I think it's just that familiarity and maybe that connection off the court that we have. We're really close friends, and so bringing that onto the court, there's things that we do that we just know, and it's quite calming in those pressure moments where she's like, you and me, we've got it, and that's something that we've brought from playing club together. But in terms of our game style, all the wahs and friends can play the same and do what's required of them, so it's nice to know that we have options wherever we go.
Yeah, cool. And the decision to bring Kelly on, I feel like, made a huge impact down the defensive end. What did you think of her game today?
Yeah, really good. I think also probably with Kayla coming on as well, and then the change up there with Kate coming in, added a bit more defensive firepower, but also a bit more height there. I still felt, looking at the stats up to halftime, we were still chewing over ball or getting ball, but our ability to take the ball through was hesitant. So having Kelly in there, plus also the unit, I think, was able to consolidate faster, and I thought they put a lot of pressure out there, and there was a lot of probably turnover of diamonds, which we've never seen before, so we handled that really well.
Do you think that was because they were getting stressed and wanted to make options, change things up?
I think usually, when we make a change, either one, it's needed, or 2, you can't quite push it through or make a difference. So I feel with what they had, with the change up, it meant that we had to think a wee bit differently. Not necessarily change the way we played, but I think that was the key, that we could still play the same way and not be caught up in the individuals. And I thought once we got the feel of that, we were able to stick to what we wanted to do.
Also, Grace, how is it going up against Courtney Bruce on the sideline? There was a few elbows and looks.
Yeah.
So how is that for you?
Yeah, I think between Bruce and Cloud, it's a very intense physical match. It's all the off the ball stuff, the whole 60, they're on you and they're putting that pressure on. But I've actually really enjoyed the challenge. I've been wanting to play against a really strong defensive unit like the two of them, and so I think I'm learning every game and growing each game. So it's awesome to come up against them.
And do you think you're also? I feel like when you played your first, international test for the Silver Ferns, it can be a lot to sort of have to deal with. But do you think that's something that you're getting better, with the physicalness?
Yeah, I think I found my feet a little bit. Like I am prepared for it mentally and physically now, and I think from my debut till until now, I've come a long way, and I feel like I can go out there and compete with them.
Confident enough to get them away. I'll go back.
Try and get it back here and there, but sometimes thing.
Cool.
Noeline, where does Sulu sit in your team? Because now you've created this really big amount of depth, and obviously you've still got Jane and Karen to come back into the mix. You did start her tonight, but it is so hard with Kelly being so dominant against the Australian shooters. We saw from Wednesday, she just gets into their head so much with her lean.
Look, she's in our squad and definitely a valued member and a valued leader, both on and off the court for us, so that remains. But also, I think once again, the more court time that you get in to build the combination, that makes a difference as well. So Kelly's chugging along, but I have such faith in Sulu, and I'm actually a fan of her, so I know what she's capable of doing. And the good thing as well is that she'll go back and she'll get herself ready. And December's the next time in regards to the trials that we all come back together again. So, that's the next step for her.
And probably the best out of the Ferns players, what it's like to play in Australia. This is, like you said, kind of half-time. It's 0-0 from here. What's your approach and message to the girls going forward?
Yeah, look, it's something that we've been talking about right from the very first start of the physicality. I think the good or the positive thing is we've nearly seen everybody off their bench, so that's a really good thing. I think our positive that we have is that we've got a really strong bench. And there will come a time where we will have to play our bench and they'll be ready and they're experienced too, so you can't buy experience. So we're really looking forward to that. I think also maybe our game management in regards to umpiring and be clear about whether our penalties or where we set things or our held balls or those sort of things. So I think we can work a wee bit better around that and maybe take more control over our controllables. So we haven't got really long. We fly tomorrow and then we've got half a training sort of thing and then we're on again. So I think once again with our bench, they'll be tired. They've ran through everybody. So we're looking forward to seeing what we can do and really pull them apart a wee bit more.